Ladies and gentlemen, listen while everyone else is talking about what they're going to do. The silent ones are doing it, while the loud ones are announcing their plans. The quiet ones are executing their vision. While the noisy crowd is seeking attention and validation, the silent warriors are building empires in the shadows. Silence isn't weakness, it's control. It's disciple. It's strength. Cincy. Today you're going to discover why the most powerful people in any room are often the quietest. TG foundation of strategic silency. C. You want to know what separates people who achieve extraordinary things from people who just talk about achieving extraordinary things? It's silence C. Not the silence of fear or insecurity, but the strategic silence of someone who understands that words are cheap and results are expensive. It's the disciplined silence of someone who knows they're talking about your goals drains the energy you need to achieve your goals. It's the powerful silence of someone who has learned that moving in silence creates mystery, builds anticipation, and protects your plans from the doubt and negativity of people who don't understand your vision. Most people mistake silence for wickedness. They think that if you're not constantly broadcasting your plans, announcing your intentions, and declaring your goals, you must not be serious about success. They believe that silence means you have nothing to say. They interpret quietness as lack of confidence. But they're wrong, dead wrong. Strategic silence is not about having nothing to say. It's about having so much power that you don't need to say it. It's not about lacking confidence. It's about having such deep conviction that you don't need external validation. It's not about weakness. It's about the kind of strength that doesn't need to flex in order to be recognized. The foundation of strategic silence starts with understanding that every time you talk about what you're going to do, you get a small dopamine hit that tricks your brain into thinking you've already done it. Scientists have proven this. When you tell people about your goals, your brain experiences some of the same reward as actually achieving those goals. This makes you less likely to put in the work because your brain has already received partial satisfaction. But when you stay silent, when you keep your plans to yourself, when you work without announcing, your brain stays hungry for the real reward, actual achievement, tangible results, concrete success. Strategic silence also protects your dreams from dream killers. The moment you announce what you're working on, you invite opinions, skepticism, doubt, and negativity. People who haven't achieved what you're trying to achieve will tell you why it won't work. People who are comfortable with mediocrity will try to pull you back to their jalil. People who are afraid to pursue their own dreams will project their fear onto your dreams. But when you move in silence, when you work without announcing, when you build without broadcasting, you protect your vision from the contamination of other people's limitations. The power of silence is rooted in focus. Every minute you spend talking about what you're going to type, do is a minute. You're not spending actually doing it. Every conversation about your plans is energy that could be invested in executing your plans. Every announcement of your intentions is attention directed outward when it should be directed inward. Silent workers understand that focused energy creates results while scattered energy creates stories. They know that 1 hour of focused work in silence is worth more than 10 hours of distracted work interrupted by conversations about that work. Silence also creates mystery, and mystery creates power. When people don't know what you're working on, they become curious. When they can't predict your next move, they pay attention. When you consistently achieve without announcing, you develop a reputation as someone who gets things done. The loudest person in the room is rarely the most powerful. The most powerful person is often the one sitting quietly, observing, learning, planning, and waiting for the perfect moment to execute. The foundation of strategic silence includes understanding the difference between silence and secrecy. Silence is not about hiding from the world or being secretive. It's about being selective with your words, strategic with your announcements, and disciplined in your communication. It's about sharing your results instead of your plans. It's about letting your achievements speak louder than your words. It's about building so loudly in silence that your success makes more noise than your mouth ever could. Tiashi discipline of quai execution. Silence requires tremendous discipline. In a world that constantly demands you share, post, announce, and broadcast every aspect of your life, staying silent about your goals and plans takes extraordinary self-control. It requires you to resist the urge to seek validation before you've earned results. It demands that you find satisfaction in the work itself rather than in people's reactions to your work. It necessitates that you develop internal motivation that doesn't depend on external ends uragation. The discipline of quiet execution starts with controlling the impulse to announce your intentions. Every time you feel the urge to tell someone what you're working on, recognize that urge for what it is, a desire for validation, approval, or praise before you actually accomplish anything. Champions resist this urge. Warriors swallow these words. Winners redirect this energy into the actual work. They understand that premature announcement is a release valve that lets out the pressure that should be driving their EF watts. Quiet execution also means learning to find joy in the process rather than in the announcement of the process. Most people love talking about what they're doing because it gives them a temporary high without requiring actual EFF wart. But people who move in silence have discovered a deeper satisfaction. The satisfaction of mastering their craft, the joy of incremental progress, the fulfillment of knowing they're building something real. They don't need to talk about it because they're too busy experiencing IT. The discipline includes resisting the urge to respond to doubters and haters. When people question what you're doing, when they criticize your choices, when they doubt your capabilities, the natural impulse is to defend yourself, explain your vision, justify your decisions. But silent warriors understand that responses drain energy. They know that explanations to people who don't believe in you are wasted. They recognize that the best response to doubt is not words, but results. They let their success do the talking. Quiet execution also requires discipline in the face of success. When you achieve something significant, the temptation to broadcast it immediately is overwhelming. But strategic silence means being selective even about announcing your wins. It means celebrating privately before celebrating publicly. It means processing your success internally before seeking external validation. It means maintaining the mystery even after achievement because you understand that today's victory is just preparation for tomorrow's challenge. The discipline of silence includes controlling your presence on social media. In an age where everyone is documenting every moment, sharing every thought, and broadcasting every activity, staying silent is revolutionary. It means not posting about every workout, every work session, every plan. It means keeping your progress private until you have something substantial to show. It means using social media strategically rather than compulsively. Silent achievers understand that social media can be a powerful tool or a devastating distraction. They control it instead of letting it control them. QT execution also demands that you develop the discipline to work without immediate feedback. Most people plead constant encouragement, regular validation, and frequent praise to maintain their motivation. But when you move in silence, when you work without announcing, you must develop internal sources of drive. You must learn to motivate yourself without external cheerleaders. You must find satisfaction in the work itself rather than in people's reactions to your work. This internal motivation is far more sustainable than external validation. The discipline of strategic silence also includes knowing when to speak. Silence is not about never speaking. It's about speaking strategically, powerfully, and with fervor. Silent warriors know when their words will have maximum impact. They understand that scarcity increases value. They recognize that when you speak rarely, people listen carefully. They've learned that one powerful statement after demonstrating results is worth more than 1,000 promises before achieving anything. Teach the strategic advantage of moving in shadow. Moving in silence gives you strategic advantages that loud workers never experience. When you work without announcing, when you build without broadcasting, when you progress without posting, you create conditions that dramatically increase your chances of success. These advantages are not just psychological, they're practical, tangible, and powerful. The first strategic advantage is the element of surprise. When people don't know what you're working on, they can't prepare for your emergence. When competitors don't see you coming, they can't position against you. When doubters don't know you're building something significant, they can't interfere with your construction. Surprise is a powerful weapon in any competitive E&V environment. Silent workers leverage this weapon by default. Moving in shadow also protects you from copycats. The moment you announce your innovative idea, your unique approach, or your creative strategy, you invite imitation. People will steal your competence. Competitors will adopt your marshmandates. Observers will replicate your approach. But when you move in silence, when you execute without explaining, when you achieve without announcing how you achieve it, you protect your competitive advantage. By the time others figure out what you did, you're already several steps ahead. The strategic advantage also includes avoiding the pressure of public expression. When you announce your goals publicly, you create external pressure to achieve those goals. While some people thrive under this pressure, many crumble. The fear of public failure becomes paralyzing. The weight of others' expectations becomes crushing. But when you work in silence, you only carry the weight of your own expectations. You can experiment, fail, adjust, and try again without the burden of public scrutiny. Moving in shadow also gives you the freedom to pivot. When you've publicly committed to a specific path, changing direction feels like filler. You feel obligated to stick with your announced plan, even when circumstances suggest you should adapt. But silent workers maintain flexibility. They can change course without explaining why. They can abandon strategies that aren't working without admitting defeat. They can evolve their approach without broadcasting their evolution. This flexibility is crucial in a rapidly changing environment. The strategic advantage includes conserving energy. Every conversation about your plans drains energy. Every explanation of your vision consumes resources. Every justification of your choices depletes your reserves. But silent workers conserve this energy for the actual work. They don't waste mental bandwidth on managing other people's opinions. They don't expend emotional energy on defending their decisions. They channel a bifurcated e-bite of their resources into execution rather than explanation. Moving in silence also allows you to fail prettily. Failure is inevitable on the path to success, but public failure is devastating. When you've announced your goals and you fail to achieve them, you face not just personal disappointment, but public EMB harassment. But when you work in silence, failures are private learning experiences. You can fail, learn, adjust, and try again without the shame of public scrutiny. This private failure is essential for rapid learning and growth. The strategic advantage also includes building momentum before revealing yourself. When you finally emerge from silence with tangible results, established success, and proven capabilities, you enter the arena with momentum already built. You're not asking people to believe in your portoloscence. You're showing them your results. You're not requesting faith in your vision. Hence, you're demonstrating your execution. You're not hoping for validation. You're demanding recognition. This is a position of strength that only silence can create. TAZ psychological mastery of silency. The power of silence is fundamentally psychological. It affects not just how others perceive you, but how you perceive yourself. It influences not just external outcomes, but internal developments. Strategic silence is a tool for psychological mastery, mastering your own mind while simultaneously influencing the minds of others. Psychological mastery through silence begins with developing self-validation. When you stop seeking approval from others, when you stop needing people to praise your efforts, when you stop requiring external confirmation that you're on the right path, you develop an unshakable internal foundation. This self-validation is the bedrock of psychological strength. It makes you immune to criticism, resistant to doubt, and impervious to the negativity that stops most people. Silence also develops patience. In a world of instant gratification, where everyone wants immediate results and rapid recognition, silence teaches you to delay gratification. It trains you to work for months or years without reward. It develops your capacity to invest effort without immediate return. This patience is crucial because significant achievements require significant time. Impatient people quit before results. Patient people persist until success. Emerse, Akerjes. The psychological mastery includes developing emotional regulation. When you move in silence, when you work without announcing, you can't use external validation as an emotional crutch. You can't rely on praise to lift your spirits when you're down. You can't depend on encouragement to motivate you when you're tired. This forces you to develop internal emotional regulation, the ability to manage your emotional state without external insults. This emotional independence is a hallmark of psychological maturity. Silence also builds authentic confidence. Confidence based on other people's praise is fragile. Confidence built on external validation is temporary. But confidence earned through silent achievement is uncapable. When you accomplish things without announcing them, when you overcome challenges without broadcasting them, when you achieve goals without seeking recognition for them, you develop real confidence. This is not arrogant, it's quiet knowing. It's the unshakable certainty that comes from proven capacity. The psychological mastery of silence includes developing focus. Constant communication scatters your attention. Regular announcements fragment your energy. Frequent updates divide your concentration. But silence allows total focus. When you're not thinking about what to post, what to say, or how to explain your progress, all your mental energy can be directed toward the work. This concentrated focus is what produces breakthrough results. Silence also creates psychological mastery. Humans are naturally curious about the unknown. When people don't know what you're doing, they become curious. When they can't predict your actions, they pay attention. When you consistently achieve without announcing, you become inner resting. This mystery gives you psychological leverage. People lean in when you speak because you speak rarely. They pay attention to your moves because your moves are unpredictable. The psychological mastery includes developing the ability to sit with discomfort. The urge to announce your plans is often driven by discomfort with unity. We want to talk about what we're doing because it makes us feel like we're doing something. But silence requires you to sit with the discomfort of working without recognition, building without applause, and progressing without validation. This ability to tolerate discomfort is essential for achieving anything significant. Silence also eliminates the psychological trap of false accomplishment. When you announce your goals, your brain releases dopamines, the same chemical released when you actually achieve those goals. This creates a sense of accomplishment without actual achievement. It's like eating dessert before dinner. It satisfies your craving but doesn't provide real nourishment. Silent workers avoid this trap. Their dopamine comes from actual achievement, real results, tangible success. Building in shadows while others talk. While the world is busy talking. While others talk. While the world is busy talking, posting, announcing and broadcasting, silent achievers are building. They're constructing empires while others are crafting posts. They're developing skills while others are developing their personal brand. They're making progress while others are making noise. This is where the real separation happens between people who talk about success and people who create success. Building in shadows means understanding that real work happens in pre-nits. The gym where you build your body is pre-nits. The study where you build your knowledge is pre-unpiety. The laboratory where you build your skills is pre-INT. The workshop where you build your craft is prindent. Public displays of work are often just performance. Real work happens when nobody's watching. Silent builders spend more time in private practice than in public performance. Eh? The building process in silence includes mastering the fundamentals without broadifying. While others are posting about their fitness journey after one workout, silent builders are consistently training for months. While others are announcing their new business venture on day one, silent builders are working on their business for years before public launch. While others are sharing their learning journey after reading one book, silent builders, they're consuming hundreds of books before demonstrating their no-fledge. No-a-ledge. The difference is depth versus appearance, substance versus image. Building in shadows also means developing systems. Silent achievers don't just work hard, they work smart. They create systems, processes, and frameworks that allow them to build EFF efficiently. While loud workers are busy announcing every action, silent workers are busy optimizing their tax sanctions. They understand that systems multiply effort while announcements multiply distraction. They spend their energy building infrastructure rather than building reputation. The building process includes embracing the monotones. Real achievement requires doing the same things over and over until mastery emerges. This is not exciting. This is not glamorous. This is not worth posting about, but silent builders embrace this monotony because they understand it's the price of mastery. While others are chasing excitement and novelty, silent builders are grinding through the repetitive work that creates extraordinary results. Building in silence also means investing in long-term growth over short-term validation. Every hour spent posting about your work is an hour not spent doing your work. Every minute spent crafting the perfect announcement is a minute not spent perfecting your craft. Every second spent seeking likes is a second not spent getting better. Silent builders make the trade. They sacrifice short-term validation for long-term achievement. They forfeit temporary praise for permanent results. The building process in shadows includes learning without announcing. Silent achievers are voracious learners, but they don't broadcast every book they read, every course they take, or every skill they develop. They learn in private and demonstrate in public. They studied in spotlight and demonstrate in public. They study in shadow and perform in spotlight. They develop in silence and deliver with impact. This approach creates the appearance of overnight success, when in reality, it's the result of years of invisible preparation. Building in silence also means working through failures without butterdianging. When you fail publicly, you carry the burden of public awareness. But when you fail privately, failure becomes just feedback. Silent builders fail frequently but nobody knows. They experiment constantly, but nobody sees. They make mistakes regularly, but nobody judges. This private failure accelerates learning because it removes the fear of EMB, harassment. It enables rapid experimentation because there's no reputation at stake. The building process includes creating momentum through consistency rather than consistency through motivation. Loud workers need constant encouragement to stay motivated. They need likes, comments, and shares to keep going. But silent workers don't depend on external validation. Their momentum, external validation, their momentum comes from the work itself, from the satisfaction of progress, from the joy of improvement. This internal momentum is sustainable while external validation is fleeting. TC revelation moment, letting success speak. After months or years of silent building, there comes a moment of revelation when your success speaks so loudly that silence is no longer necessary. This is not about breaking your silence to brag. It's about allowing your results to naturally announce themselves. This is the moment when your work becomes so undeniable that others notice without you announcing. This is when your achievement becomes so significant that recognition comes without you seeking IT. The revelation moment is powerful precisely because it comes after silence CZ. When someone who has been working quietly suddenly emerges with significant results, the impact is profound. It commands respect. It generates curiosity. It creates admiration. People wonder, where did they come from? The answer, they were always there, building in silence while others were talking in public. Strategic revelation means choosing the right moment to embrace. Silent builders don't announce prematurely. They don't reveal incomplete work. They don't showcase early stage progress. They wait until they have something substantial to show. They emerge when their work is polished, their results are proven, and their capabilities are demonstrated. This patience in revelation multiplies impact. The revelation moment also involves letting your work speak for IT self. Instead of explaining what you've done, you demonstrate what you've achieved. Instead of describing your process, you display your results. Instead of justifying your choices, you showcase your outcomes. The work becomes its own advertisement. The results become their own testimony. The success becomes its own announcement. Strategic revelation includes using the element of surprise. Because you've been working in silence, your emergence is you and ecstasy. This surprise multiplies attention. It magnifies impact. It increases memorability. People remember the quiet person who suddenly emerged with significant achievement far more than they remember. The loud person who constantly announced every step, the revelation moment, also protects you from comparison. When you've been working silently, you haven't been competing for attention along the way. You haven't been compared to others at similar stages. You haven't been measured against expectations set by premature announcements. You emerge fully formed, comparison-free, ready to be evaluated based solely on your results. Strategic revelation means revealing results, not just activity. Loud workers announce they're working out. Silent workers reveal their transformed body. Loud workers announce they're starting a business. Silent workers reveal their profitable company. Loud workers announce they're learning a skill. Silent workers reveal their mastery. The difference between announcing activity and revealing results is the difference between noise and impact. The revelation moment also includes maintaining some mystery. Even after emerging, strategic silence doesn't end with success. It evolves. You share your results without sharing all your mamadens. You showcase your achievements without revealing all your strategies. You demonstrate your capabilities without exposing all your secrets. This maintained mystery preserves your competitive advantage and keeps people eintertridged. It is the protection of energy and vision. One of the most critical reasons for strategic silence is protection. Protecting your energy from drain and your vision from contamination. In a world full of energy vampires and dream killers, silence is your shield. It's your defensive perimeter that keeps negativity out and power on. Protecting your energy starts with understanding that communication is expensive. Every conversation about your plans costs energy. Every explanation of your vision drains resources. Every justification of your choices depletes your reserves. As silent workers are energy misers, they hoard their energy for the work IT itself. They don't waste it on managing other people's opinions. They invest bite of their resources in execution rather than explanation. Silence also protects your vision from dilution. When you share your vision with others, their feedback, suggestions, and concerns often water down your idea. Their limitations become your limitations. Their fears become your fears. Their doubts become your doubts. But when you keep your vision to yourself, it remains pure, undiluted, and powerful. You can pursue it with complete clarity without the confusion of conflicting opinions. The protection includes shielding yourself from dream killers. These are people who will tell you why your goals are unrealistic, why your plans won't work, why you should be more practical. They mean well, but their limitations are not your limitations. Their failed attempts don't predict your future. Their comfortable mediocrity doesn't define your portal. Silence protects you from their infection of DOUBT. Protecting your energy also means avoiding unnecessary conflict. When you announce your plans, you invite debate. When you share your goals, you create disillusion. When you reveal your strategies, you generate criticism. But silent workers avoid these conflicts entirely. They don't argue because they don't announce. They don't defend because they don't reveal. They don't fight battles with words because they're too busy winning battles with work. Silence also protects you from the comparison trap. When you're constantly sharing your progress, you're constantly comparing yourself to others. You see people ahead of you and feel discouraged. You see people behind you and feel complacent. But when you work in silence, you compete with yourself. You measure your progress against your own baseline. You compare today's version of yourself to yesterday's version. This internal competition is healthy, while external comparison is destructive. The protection of vision includes maintaining control over your narrative. When you work in silence, you control when and how your story is told. You decide what to share and what to keep pretense. You determine the framing of your success. But when you share constantly throughout the process, others write your story for you. They interpret your journey through their lens. They create narratives that may not align with your reality. Protecting your energy also means avoiding the obligation to perform. When you announce your goals publicly, you create an expectation that you will achieve them. This expectation creates pressure that can be motivating or paralyzing. For many people, it's paralyzing. The fear of public failure becomes so overwhelming that it prevents action. But silent workers avoid this pressure entirely. They're free to work without the weight of public suspicion. Silence also protects you from premature celebration. When people praise your plans before you've executed them, you get a taste of success without having earned it. This premature celebration can reduce your motivation to do the actual work. But silent workers delay celebration until achievement is real. They maintain their hunger by refusing to celebrate plans. They only celebrate results. Teaching final transformation into silent power. This is where everything converges. This is where you understand that silence is not just a strategy. It's a superpower. This is where you transform from someone who needs to announce every move into someone whose moves speak for themselves. This is where you become the person who commands attention through achievement rather than through an announcement. The transformation into silent power begins with a decision, the decision to stop seeking validation from others and start validating yourself through results. It's the choice to replace talking with doing, announcing with achieving, posting with producing. This decision is not made once. It's made daily, hourly. Every time you feel the urge to share what you're working on. Your transformation requires embracing discomfort. Silence is uncomfortable in a noisy world. Not sharing is difficult in a sharing culture. Moving in shadow feels lonely in a spotlight-seeking society. But this discomfort is growth pain. It's the stretching of your capacity for self-validation. It's the development of your internal strategy. It's the building of your independent power years. The transformation also includes developing new habits. You must train yourself to redirect the energy you once spent on announcement into execution. You must rewire your brain to find satisfaction in progress rather than praise. You must reprogram your reward system to respond to achievement rather than to attention. This rewiring takes time, but it creates permanent change. Silent power requires you to become comfortable with being underestimated. When you don't announce your plans, when you don't share your progress, when you don't broadcast your KPI abilities, people will underestimate you. Their underestimation is your advantage. Their ignorance of your work is your protection. Their surprise at your success is your reward. The transformation includes learning to celebrate friendly. You must develop the capacity to acknowledge your wins without needing external validation. You must learn to appreciate your progress without public praise. You must find joy in your achievements without social media likes. This private celebration is more satisfying than public praise because it's authentic. It's yours alone. It's pure satisfaction untainted by performance or image. Silent power also means understanding that your silence speaks willingness. In a world where everyone is shouting, silence is deafening. Where everyone is announcing, silence is interrogating. Where everyone is seeking attention, silence commands attention. Your silence becomes your signature. Your quietness becomes your branks. Your mysterious nature becomes your magnetism. The transformation requires patience with the process. Silent building takes time. Results don't appear overnight. Success doesn't materialize instantly. You must trust the process even when you can't see progress. You must believe in your work even when nobody else sees it. You must maintain faith in your path even when walking it feels lonely. Your final transformation into silent power means becoming someone who lets their life speak louder than their words. You become living proof that success doesn't require announcement. You demonstrate that achievement doesn't need validation. You prove that extraordinary results come from quiet, consistent, focused work. You become the example that others look to when they're tempted to talk about their work instead of doing their work. Right now, make this commitment. From this moment forward, you will move in silence. You will build in shadow. You will work without announcing. You will achieve without brutalizing. You will let your results speak louder than your words. You will become the silent force that emerges with such power that silence is no longer necessary. See, your words can wait, your announcements can wait, your explanations can wait, but your work cannot wait. Your building cannot wait. Your execution cannot wait. The time for silence is now. The time for focused work is now. The time for strategic building is now. Silence is not weakness. It's control. It's discipline. It's stringency. It's the foundation of greatness. It's the secret of success. It's the secret of success. It's the weapon of champions. Now go move in silence and let your success make the noise. TG power of silence is yours to claim. Go build in the shadows and emerge in the light.